Mike's hot. Mike's hot.
He finna get that 250 M's and build. He only 26.
In fact, he might
I'm
as
saying,
well.
I'm on me, bro. You can get another max contract when you're 31. Go get a title or two if you really want a ring chase. Like I don't see him leaving just yet.
Yeah, with that one.
On me, he could probably get another 5 year at 31. KD just got a big bag. You feel me? He's fresh off the injury.
That's a fact, though. We live with it. We about to kill it up.
Let's get it.
Yes, sir.
I got some homies actually who told me they was fucking with our podcast.
Word.
Yeah, bro. I literally was hooping with the homie today. He was like, "Hey, bro, I seen y'all podcast, bro. It's pretty entertaining." I was like, "Bet."
Oh yeah, we gonna keep going, man. Going on, sports family, man, and we back again with another episode of Micah and Friends. And you know, it's the usual suspects, man. I got La Familia in the building, man. I got Cot checking all the way in from Maryland, man. What's going on, Cot?
Y'all know what it is. What's up, gang? You know, same old. Staying solid on this side. How y'all, man?
Easy. Hot take
Living,
king.
bro. Can't complain.
Hot take.
Facts. The king.
Fact. But nah, here we got my homie Nate checking in from the West Coast, a.k.a. the best coast all the time, man. Nate, what's going on with you?
Man, solid, bro. It's a lot of fires out here, so, you know, it's looking weird out here on this coast, bro. You feel me? Waking up to soot on your car, you know, ashes on your car, but, you know, I'm surviving. Family straight.
I heard it was because of, like a gender reveal party.
Bro, this is the second time that's happened, bro. You feel me? That's not the only fire, but this is the second time this has happened, bro. Someone's made like 2 major explosions trying to do too much for the gender reveal. Like, bro, if you just don't ask your doctor, man, and stop messing up the environment for these parties. But you know, I'm not gonna be doing that.
Easy. It's a gender reveal. People start to take that joint too serious. But now let's get into the episode, man. Today's sponsor is TOV Sports, man. Make sure you go over there and follow TOV Sports. They're the reason why this production is out right now. This whole episode is being powered by them. So make sure you go over there on IG and check them out. And, man, let's get started, man. So off the rip, we just going to go ahead and get it cracking with Denver, because that's still like the most recent thing that's been on my mind. And I want to know from you all, do y'all think Denver can extend the series or even win the series? So, Cot, I'm going to start off with you, man.
Man, this is that Denver series. I told y'all, excuse me, but I'm gonna go back to my first take. I think that Denver series is. I think it's going to Game 6. I called it on my first original take, and I mean Denver. They have a lot of talent. They got a lot of pieces. Jokic and Jamal Murray. Like a dude like Jamal Murray isn't going to just get cold because he's playing the Clippers now. You know what I'm saying? He was on the amazing streak right now. I think it was going to be a competitive series. So
I think it's cold right now, though.
Man, he is cold. He's definitely cold.
I'll let you go, though.
He also coming off an injury, though. Like he don't get me wrong, he ain't putting up the same thing he put up against Utah, but he's still effective enough where they got game plan the defense. What I'm saying, he's not the Jamal Murray. So that game plan, that strategy opens up again. I still got it going Game 6, but it's definitely good series, man. Good competitive basketball.
Man, for me, I don't know. I could see it going 6, like you said, just because I know what the Clippers. You feel me? What they liable to do. They may be liable just to drop another game, just because. You feel me? Just because they know they can. But if everything goes well, bro, I think it should be over within 5. But 6, if the Clippers start playing around. And one thing I can say that's been fairly apparent, that these European overseas players, they coming. because the Clippers don't have any answers for any overseas European player, whether that's Luka Doncic, whether that was Porzingis, whether that was Jokic right now,
Jokic.
and hell, whether we gonna get to them later, but shit, Goran Dragic. He over in Miami balling right now, so I think that type of style of basketball, even though people been talking about it 3-4 years ago, like when the league just started changing to more of a European type league, more of a scoring finesse league, then it's very apparent to see the changes that didn't happen. You know what I'm saying? Now we starting to, I guess I'll say, reap the fruits. You know what I'm saying, from the seeds that was planted, because the European players now, the overseas players is over with. Like, these guys is real. They still may be a little soft, but they they just got the talent. They just gonna keep.
See, I look at the European players right now. My bad, Micah. Go ahead, bro. You cutting out?
Yo, and I'm back in.
Yeah, you back in.
Yeah, they definitely see what happens down the line with them, man. Like, I just think it's a new league now, man. Like, it's been this way, but now we're starting to see, all right, it's real talent from overseas that's really stepping up to the plate. And I mean, that nevertheless, that don't really have nothing to do with what the Clippers got going. But I still, just to get back on that, I see it going 5. But if they play around like how they've been playing around, they could go 6. Nate, what's your thoughts?
Or I want to hit on that European point because, to your point, like, a dude like Luka is great, dude like Jokic is great, but, for every dude like those two dudes, you got somebody like a Goran Dragic, or you got somebody, I'm not Goran Dragic, I mean, you got somebody like a Dante Exum, or you got somebody like a Dragan Bender, you know what I'm saying? These other Europeans that don't work out. So, the NBA has taken a lot of gambles on European players. So I'm glad that it's starting to finally hit. There was a period when Dirk was considered probably like a top 5 player in NBA. That's probably like the best European white male that's been in the association besides Luka now. This dude Jokic, that's what I want to get back to that Clippers and Nuggets series, because I think we kind of agreed on the last episode that they could take it 6. But my point about it was more so that Jokic would be the deciding factor. Because if you're watching these games, bro, the Clippers have no answer for his size, because, they try to bang him up. But, Jokic, as slow as he might be, he's a banger. Like, if you watch his games, like, he's not afraid to post you up, take that contact, you know what I'm saying, take a few elbows or whatever. Like, he going to get to his spot, hit you with a nice little overhand hook shot or something like that. And he's starting to develop that little Dirk one-step fadeaway, too. So, that's pretty dangerous. Jamal Murray,
and he
is finesse. And he's young, too. He only 25, 26. So, the league's in good hands. But I just think Jokic is a bad matchup for them because, we really, like, our big Zubac, he's not accustomed to playing away from the basket. And though Jokic does have a great back-to-the-basket game, he initiates the offense around the three-point line. You feel me? Like, he's really passing. He's really looking for cutters. And he can knock down that 3. So somebody like Montrez coming in, he's fresh food for a dude like Jokic. He's like 7 inches shorter, you know what I'm saying? And Jokic's not scared to bang, like I said. But I've also liked what I've seen from them. The young guys, Michael Porter stepped up the other night. They didn't get the W. But, him playing in high-pressure minutes. Same for somebody like Jeremy Grant. He's still relatively young, too. Getting Gary Harris back has definitely helped out. But I think still it could go 6. They can extend it to 6. But if the Clippers, if they establish their dominance, like, I don't expect Kawhi to have another 13-point night. I really don't. I don't think the Denver Nuggets do. Their best chance is to shut off everybody else. Like Paul George having 32, they're not going to win if Paul George has 30. So I think it'll probably go 6 still, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Clippers ended it in 5 either.
Yeah. And one thing, just to piggyback off of what you were saying, man, because you brought up a good point with Jokic. And I feel like he's at that position of where, with him being able to start the offense at the perimeter, like you said, Zubac is used to playing it like close towards the basket. So when I was watching the game, I'm looking like, damn. Every time they keep flowing to the basket, I'm like, dog, Jokic is on fire, and he at the 3, just because that's how you typically play the pick and roll with a big man. You know what I'm saying? But Jokic can live at that 3-point line if he want to.
I mean, Doc
And
Rivers said it perfect, bro. Like I mean, like to this point, bro, he's probably the best passing center ever. I mean, and Doc even said that above dudes like Hakeem Olajuwon. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Who was a really gifted passer. But the stuff that Jokic does at the center position, bro, I really can't say I've ever seen that. You feel me? I really don't even know if I've seen that at like a high school or college level, where like the offense is really based. Like they give this dude Jokic the ball 90 feet from the basket, bro,
and
and he
it's
dribbles it
easy,
up.
bro.
You feel me? And he's
It's
making
easy.
good outlet passes. Like you feel me? I've never seen so much trust in a big to initiate guard offense. You feel me? It's
Yeah,
different playing out the post. You feel me? And letting people come with a double. But you come with a double like Jokic, he might throw a LeBron type pass, you feel me, to the
yeah.
opposite corner to a shooter right to his pocket. Dudes
And
like Joel, Cat,
any be dog. Hold on, because you bringing up some good points. I'm gonna get you back in here. But
Joe.
one thing that I noticed as well from this last game, bro, and I called it. I was sitting here watching the game with my brother. I'm like, dog, they about to just Kawhi the rest of the game out
Mm-hmm.
from the 6 minute mark and on. Watch that game, bro, and just count how many times they went to the line.
Mm-hmm.
Everything, if it's not a clean look, hey, we going to the line, getting the foul, we gonna eat at the line. And they beat them at the line. You know what I'm saying? Just
Mm-hmm.
slowing the game all the way down, keeping a consistent gap in between them. But that was my point on that. But something else you said, I just need to get y'all opinion on it. Is he the best center in the league?
To me, most definitely,
Because
bro. I
I'm
don't
picking
see
him over Embiid, right? Like easily. You know what I'm
how
saying? Like
can't you?
I
How
personally
can't
think
you?
he's in the league. I got him over Embiid, just off the smoke. Like you said, that the way that he initiates offense and his skill level has never been done before by any center. I know you made a great
No.
point. I've seen that before. That and his durability. Like I feel like because of the pace of his game, he understands what he does. He even said in an interview the other day. He said, "He's like, why are you so patient? You never seen like your patience is rare." He's like, I mean, I'm not
Mm-hmm.
fast, so I
I'm
was all
slow. I'm
ain't got no
slow. It is what
choice.
it
right.
is. I mean, I think
Right.
it's
So,
really a
but I
no-brainer,
do
bro.
think he's the best in the league. I think it's. I mean, I like my favorite in the league is Bam, but right now
Mm-hmm.
I think that's one favorite. I think I got Jokic number one for sure.
The
He's
reason,
definitely, and that's why I got him going six. I mean, you know what I'm saying? They got Gary Harris back, and that he
mm-hmm.
was great
Yeah.
addition. You know, he made some plays last game, especially in their win too. Jeremy Grant, that's late. The guys just makes it more difficult for the Clippers. And so
Mm-hmm.
I mean, don't get me wrong, the Clippers are the Clippers. Like they got Kawhi Leonard, you know what I'm saying? But I think that Denver is a talented enough team to take them to six.
For
Facto,
sure.
facto. Nate, you got
See,
anything else on this before I wrap it up?
yeah, I gotta say Jokic is the best center in the game. The only thing really he's lacking is defense, but he's slow, like he said. He's really not the best defender, but when he tries, like he's okay. And to me, I look at the rebounding numbers, like that shows me he's out there trying. Like last game, he had like what 27 to 18. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like
He was
that at least shows he's by the rim. He's doing his job as a center. He may not be blocking shots, but he's getting rebounds. He's outletting. You feel me? Like I take that as valuable. And like Kai said, good point. Like he's very durable. Like his game's not predicated on offense. Like I could see Jokic having a 20-year career. You feel me?
Easy.
Off the sole fact because he could just pass the ball so well. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know like what age he would really be able to stop passing the ball at. Like he'll never rely on his athleticism. You feel me? His
yeah.
touch is already getting better. So, if I'm gonna build a franchise around a center, I do it around Jokic because I think you could put any piece around him. You could put a scorer around him because Jokic, you feel me, he's gonna get that dude the ball. You can
Yeah.
put like defenders around him, you know what I'm saying, to kind of alleviate the pressure on him defensively as an anchor. But from what I've seen from Joel, he's just not durable enough, and like he has too many spurts of like he's not going hard enough for me. You feel
Yeah.
me? Like because he's much more athletic than Jokic, and I think he should be so much more dominant. But he has games to me where it's just like, I want to dominate right now. I don't really want to dominate later. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like Jokic, he can dominate in different phases of the game: passing, rebounding, scoring. You feel me? I think he got the whole bag.
Facto, 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 man. Let's go ahead and move it on because this gonna get even better, man. I feel like this whole just topic list it just get better as we go. But Giannis, man, we got to talk about the Giannis injury, the future of the Bucks, and the question I feel like nobody's answering is Bud on the hot seat? And I'm gonna start it off with the injury. At first I ain't take it serious because I seen like the last 2 games we was playing. I'm like, damn, he turned his ankle 3 times, bro. What are you doing, bro? Like, but I guess you feel me. He probably was like a size 17 or something like that. So his feet is long as hell. So
them boats.
Yeah,
he got
so
boats on his feet.
I give him that. You feel me? Let me get a size 17 B-Nod. You feel me?
B-Nod.
Real talk. But nah, he got them joints on. Then I don't know, bro. I think just to get to Bud, wrong
white guy.
Yeah, wrong white guy. Yeah, just to get to Budenholzer though, I think he is on the hot seat, bro. Like I for sure. Like I think he had the pieces as best as they're going to be able to get out in Milwaukee, because you locked down Drew Bledsoe for like 3 more years. You got Middleton for like 3 more years. And now, you know what I'm saying? Granted, Giannis the contract right now wasn't just totally breaking the bank. But I don't feel like you could re-up with that same type of team and Giannis getting 250 now. Like, that's not going to work. You know what I'm saying? Because you got pieces there that's going to be there for a minute, and it's going to be hard to trade Middleton to another team with $100-some million contract on him. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like they're in a tough position, and I feel like it was one of the situations I feel like Budenholzer didn't see it coming just because it was so good. It was so good so early on, and it was so young. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like he kind of fell victim to the youth a little bit, but you just can't keep going out every game, you know, just dumping it to Giannis and see, you know, if he go to the cup, and if not, we have some guys who can knock down shots sometimes. It's not gonna work like that. You know what I'm saying? Unless you just surround him with straight dead eyes. You know what I'm saying? So, and even when they tried that last year when they had mirror chicks from who was it? He was from the Pelicans. They had Ilya
That's a big loss. That was a big loss for them.
Yeah, you know, they had a lot of guys who could really spark it up last year, and it still, you know what I'm saying, still didn't take them over the edge. So, man, let me get y'all thoughts on what's going on out there in Milwaukee. I'm gonna start with you, Nate.
You know, to your point, it sucked Giannis got injured. You know, I don't think it was any fluke injury off the sole fact that Giannis is a competitor. You know what I'm saying? I think he's always going to go give it his all. You know, I'm sure he wanted to go out there for game 5, you know, go out on his own 2 feet.
Yeah.
You know, it didn't happen. But, you know, still respect to Giannis. Like he said, though, you know, it's going to be hard to get flexibility with this team. They are very expensive. You feel me? Eric Bledsoe, Chris Middleton, you know, Brook Lopez, Robin Lopez. You got some guys on there that I think are locked in. However, there's always teams in the NBA that are willing to salary dump. So, you know, I keep hearing about this Chris Paul thing. Chris Paul has a max contract, but, you know, if you could find a third team maybe to alleviate some of that salary, get rid of Bledsoe, you feel me, maybe trade some other assets down the line, you could try to make something like that happen. But, you know, Giannis said it best himself. Like, they just have to get better. Like, their individual pieces have to get better. Like, Giannis, he has to get better. You feel me? He knows that. He has to get that little 15 to 17 footer. You feel me? He has to get that locked down. Because, like, a team like the Heat, you feel me? They built the wall. So at some point when you reach that wall, you're big enough to shoot over everybody besides Bam. You know what I'm saying? You're big enough to shoot over everybody. So you got to have that little 17-footer in your arsenal. You know, Chris Middleton got to get a better playmaking set if they're going to keep him. You feel me? He got to get better in the pick and roll with Giannis. Eric Bledsoe, to me, is the lost cause because I think they really need a floor spacer around Giannis. You feel me? Like, and that's why I'd look, you know, explore like maybe a Victor Oladipo, maybe Chris Paul, maybe, you know, Bradley Beal been floating around there, but, you know, I think he's happy. But I think Giannis will eventually stay. He's still young, you know, get that big bag right now. And then when you're 31, it'll still be around. The championships, you know, linking up with another great player, that opportunity will show itself again. But to your point, man, Budenholzer has to be on the hot seat to me. And I think he should be out of there because I just didn't see enough adjustments. Like Milwaukee, even before Giannis got injured, there was time Milwaukee would be up like 15 points on the Heat. You feel me? They started making a little run. There was literally no adjustments.
Got to stop that.
And it was coupled with he was just so afraid to play Giannis big minutes. Like, bro, nigga, LeBron's playing 40 minutes a night. AD's playing 40 minutes a night. Jason Tatum's playing 40. Kyle Lowry's playing 40. Jimmy Butler will play 40 if it came down to it. Same for Bam. Same for the best of the best. But Budenholzer, man, like you playing Giannis 36 minutes. Like, bro, this is not the regular season anymore. You feel me?
It's the
best players need to be on the floor as much as possible. And I think he did that this year and last year too much. He did the same thing in Atlanta. They underperformed. They were number 1 seed back to back, had like 4 All-Stars, got swept. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if he's one of those coaches that has enough X's and O's to get a team over the hump. Like I personally just don't see him developing enough as a coach. Like, he just, like the shit with Milwaukee, bro. Like they have shooters out on the floor. They might go small. I would suggest putting Giannis out there, but he didn't. He always waited for them to put Bam out on the floor and then put Giannis out. You feel me? Like that's your best defender. Make it a little easier. Get him some better looks. But he got to be gone, man. Yeah. I don't think you could keep trying the same thing over and over again. Like, it just might be time for a complete different direction.
Yeah, fact though. Cop, let me get your thoughts on this, bro.
Man, y'all made some great points. As far as Giannis injury goes, it's definitely an unfortunate situation, but I feel like the medical staff and the franchise did the right move by not playing game 4 or 4-5 the remaining. You know what I'm saying? You take an example like a guy like Grant Hill tried to play and hurt ankle sprain back in the day and ruined his whole career. You know what I'm saying? He was never the same. Like
KD too. It could have been a lot worse. Like he didn't tear an Achilles or nothing. You feel me? So it could have been a lot worse.
I mean, it definitely could have been worse, but at that point, I feel like you're down 0-3. You're down 0-3 with Giannis. You know what I'm saying? You didn't game plan. The series is chalk. So
series done.
For the longevity aspect, they made the right move. Even though he was out there flapping and I know I was with a couple of my homies. They're like, man, this dude up on his feet, jumping around.
In a boot, though.
But at the same time, it's like,
don't rush
my man, it's like, you don't want to risk this guy. This guy's 25 years old. His upside is crazy. He's a 17-foot jumper away from taking that next step.
Mm-hmm.
And the worker he is, his form isn't bad. I feel like he's going to eventually get that.
For sure.
So they made like I said, it's unfortunate, but those 7-footers, man, their bones built different. They, you know what I'm saying? Those minor injuries to certain people can be extreme and career changing.
Yeah.
For them dudes. I mean, it is with that. So, but as far as their future, I mean, I personally think that when free agency comes around for Giannis, I think he's going to take the Supermax. Personally, just because of his age, the age plays a role, and he's a real family-oriented guy. You know what I'm saying? He built a home there in Milwaukee. As long as he keeps progressing and getting better, the chances progressing and get better to win a championship. Mm-hmm. So I got him. I think we'll sign that soon. I feel like I don't know. As far as them winning the ring, it's going to be tough. They're going to definitely have to add some new pieces. They're going to have to get another big-time guy. You get a good point. He's not that real special. You know what I mean? He's kind of like got the same type of game as Rick. You know?
Yeah, he does. Just miniature.
Right, just miniature. You need shooters around Big Freak. You know what I mean? So I mean, I feel like Chris Paul could be a good move. Just you know what I'm saying, for the immediate future.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Is whoever sneezing all right? I'll make.
Who's sneezing?
Yeah, I'm not. I don't know.
I thought I was hearing somebody sneeze. I'm like, damn. Like I hope they the shit kept. I'm like, damn. I hope they good. But no,
I don't hear no sneezing.
Yeah.
Oh no, it might be some construction going on in my crib. Actually, that might be what you're hearing. It's a little hard blow.
I'm like,
yeah, I forgot it was going on.
Nah, you good.
I want to touch on that point real quick, because I think you're right about that Supermax. Like, people look at somebody like Giannis. I look at Giannis kind of like a Dame type figure. You know what I'm saying? Like very loyal. You feel me? Very loyal to the city that put him on. Very grateful. You feel me? Like championships. I'm not gonna say they're not everything, but at the end of the day, bro, you could go to a super team and give up money and still not get a chip. You feel me?
Facts.
So why would you do that early on in your career? Like when you can maximize your earnings. You feel me? $250 million. That's not something that I'm willing to put off. You feel me?
You're setting your family up for life.
Yeah, like
that's generally.
And with 250 bill, I'm gonna let them build around me. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna at least give them a shot. They've done a solid job. Like to this point, you feel me? 7 years in his career, you know, straight off an MVP season, they have the best record in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? They have all these different metrics that they let the NBA in. You know, like they did a solid job. Like I don't think if I'm Giannis, I can be mad at the organization. Like you feel me? You can look at LeBron leaving Cleveland, and you can be upset at the organization. You feel me? No stable coaching. The ownership was fucked up.
I'm about to say, just
you feel me?
Alone,
like to my knowledge, Giannis don't have no issue with that. So that's why I think it's enticing for him to stay. But they do have to. They got to do something. They got to get him a better co-star, or you know, like I really like Chris Paul just because of the late game aspect for them. I think he'll open up a new dimension late game because their offense is really bad late game. So that's the type of guy they need, a floor general.
Hey, one thing I can say that you did bring up, and I feel like it's fitting just because Cock got the district shirt on right now. Man, I heard something that was so crazy that I feel like it's like gold, and nobody has I don't know. I guess nobody has really said it yet, but Bradley Beal to Denver.
No, I don't.
I think that's what they need, bro.
I think if they got rid of Gary Harris, he'd be perfect in Denver.
Talking about we need him in Chocolate City. Y'all don't need him in Chocolate City. Y'all, bro, Denver needs Beal right now.
He gonna stay down and get that Supermax too. Mark my words.
Facts. I mean, he already got the $34 million, the 2 years, like $70 million deal or something like that. Like Bradley know what he doing. He collecting that check. But that I would really like him on Denver. I think he's so much better than Gary Harris, but they play the same role. You feel me? Because Bradley's a really solid
Harris
defender when he wants to be.
So.
Well, yeah, Harris and Barton would probably have to be out of there. But I mean, it's Bradley Beal. You're getting a budding young superstar. People forget Bradley's young too. But since we're on the topic of trades, I've seen a report today that said the Clippers. No, we got that on the roster for later or what?
No, we don't, but it's too much.
All right, hey, look, I gotta say it, bro.
Do it.
That the Clippers are expected to pursue a trade for Giannis Antetokounmpo this offseason. I saw this report, bro. I promise, like 10 minutes before we got on this podcast, and you know what that says to me?
Paul George is gone.
Well, that concerns me as a Clipper and LA fan, bro, because a report like that coming out in the middle of a title run that's degrading. That's very damaging to the locker room. You know what I'm saying? Because that means that they're willing to part ways with a few people on that team right now. Yeah. So it's like it kind of just set like a timer. Like, you feel me? This might be our only year. You feel me? And put a little bit more pressure on them. I don't think the Clippers have enough assets to do it because they already traded all their draft picks away. We don't, do the Bucks really want to start over with Paul George? I highly doubt it. So I don't think it's really much truth or validity behind that. However, if that is true, that means that Kawhi is definitely unsatisfied with Paul George as a co-star.
Fact though. And I seen that same report too, but I feel like it was, I don't know, because a lot of times when I see the anonymous sources, I'm like, come on, bro, put the name on it, because like you said, something like that that's a heavy bomb, and players aren't stupid. Players know exactly what's going on with the salary cap. They know where the dollars are getting allocated to in the organization. Mm-hmm. So if you say something like bringing a big piece in like Giannis, and it's not 2021, so we can't get him in free agency. Mm-hmm. It's right now, so you're trying to trade at least probably like 2 or 3 players away.
At least Paul George, Lou Will. Probably Paul George, Lou, Shamit.
And it's like, dog, I feel like I just don't know the validity behind it, and
me neither.
I think it's something to the degree to where the front office will address it like immediately, like, nah, that's cap. Like, we rolling with y'all, like, you got to, because you don't want to put that type of mindset on these players, but like, it's already out there, so it's like, damn, like, you can't really trust the front office anyway. But
somebody said it. Somebody said
it. Wojnarowski is cap.
Say if it come
True.
from
Okay.
Woj, it's cap.
Now it came from
If
Kevin.
it ain't it did.
It came from that dude Kevin O'Connor. So if he listening, you feel me? If he ever hears this and he was lying, then we on your ass, boy.
Cap. No. Yeah. But yeah, though, y'all got anything else with
Y'all made a great.
what'd you say,
Yeah,
Kyle?
I just want to say y'all made a great point as far as how you got to address that, and from the management aspect, just because of the time and things and the current circumstances. You know what I mean? That definitely can cause some friction in the locker room.
Yeah.
You know, that's definitely a great point. I mean, that's interesting though. I don't personally think they have an aspect to that. That would be, you know what I'm saying, they will want the buck. So I mean, it's interesting. Like most of the time, you see these rumors and the player ends up going to some team that wasn't even in the mix. So
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, so it like I said, I'm not gonna put too much stock in it. I don't know. I don't think I would even like to see it happen because I don't like. One thing I could say now that we kind of out this little Warriors little era, I don't like super. Like I get the super team thing, but I don't like super team.
You need one or two great
Too
players is
much,
fine. You
bro.
feel me? Like Lakers and Clippers, they don't have super teams. They have like what you would consider a dynamic duo because the team
Yeah.
around them you wouldn't consider it super. But like if Giannis went to the Clippers and somehow they got Paul George to be there, that's as super of a team I'd have never heard, bro. You
Yeah,
feel me?
like bro, it's no.
I want to tap in on that point you just made. I
Yeah.
mean, let's think about. We can take it back to the '80s, but it's always been two teams that have really know they're going to be in the championship. Between the Boston and Lakers rivalry, and then you got
the
era,
Bulls.
like every year, and then
You had the Spurs, you had the Lakers,
the Lakers.
you had the Heat.
So, like, I wouldn't say that. I feel like KD gets a lot of that punk people out of that place all the time when Brown went to Miami in 12. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like super team down there too. So
I think KD's most people are mad at KD just because it was the team he recently lost to. I think that's the only debate. But in retrospect, you're right though. It's the same thing.
That's the point I was trying to make. I'm just trying to say it's always been super teams since back in the '80s. You know what I'm saying? It's always
forever
those guys who you knew. So that's
for sure.
Fact though.
That's a great point, bro.
Let's keep rolling, man. We gonna get into this. Just the thoughts on the NBA season awards, the Rookie of the Year, Sixth Man, Defensive Player of the Year, etc., etc. But I just want y'all thoughts on that. I feel like the one I like the most I'm going to talk about is the Rookie of the Year, just because they did it the right thing.
They did it right.
Yeah, out of 100 people that voted, 99 people gave the head nod to Ja Morant. So I'm happy. I like everybody was under the same like thoughts as I was, because I felt just when Zion first came back that everything was shifting, and I know Nate, you mention it all the time, just people getting a lot of recency bias, and I felt like that was just all that was, because once you really sit down and analyze what happened, you got Ja Morant that didn't get those trades until like well past the middle of the season, like the acquisitions of the new players coming over. So I feel like he single handedly, and I'm still not taking it from him. I feel like he took the team to the playoffs, bro. Like, and I feel like nobody could tell me no. I definitely can say about that. Defensive Player of the Year, I mean, it's cool. You know what I'm saying? Hero, he a tough. I mean, no, not Hero. Hero got 6 man.
Nah, Montrez Hero. Oh, Montrez Hero. I thought you were saying Hero.
Yeah, we didn't have some talking our group.
Hero.
Yeah,
respect to Tyler. Respect to T Hero, man.
Yeah, we gonna get to him later, but yeah, man, I like it. I ain't really see no real problems. I know I seen Kuzma say earlier, like if they get this MVP thing wrong, then so and so. Like, dude, I hate when people just try to like vouch for Brian, like he need a vouch. He don't need no vouch. You feel me? But I just don't think he was an MVP. You know what I'm saying? But and like the bubble, what went on in the bubble has nothing to do with the MVP run.
It
I would be equally fine saying I would probably put Luka over Bron in the voting if I'm just being honest with myself, because it's hard to, bro, 30, 10, and 10.
It was more like
In
29,
present.
8, and 8.
No, it was let me take the cap
Because
off.
that's a triple double. You feel me?
It was 29, 10 point. It was like 10.6 and like a 9.3. Nah, it's an 8 somewhere in there.
Yeah, because Bron leading the league in the assist, and he right over 10.
Yeah.
But nah, to your point, bro, I do have to agree with pretty much every award. So far that I've seen, Ja, like you said, I'm very glad they did it right. I thought the conversation, even that Zion should have gotten Rookie of the Year, was a little disrespectful to the work that Ja had put in. They had Jaren Jackson injured some parts of the year. Tyus Jones, really no backup guard for a lot of the year. A rookie head coach, basically, and Taylor Jenkins. So I think they got that right. Defensive player of the year, I'm fine with it going to Giannis. I mean, he was pretty dominant, led one of the best defenses in the league. He can guard bigs and wings at points. Six man, it could have went to anybody. I really don't care about the 6-man award. Like, it's cool. I could see Montrez getting it. He almost averaged like an 18-point double off the bench. Like, that is pretty big time. The only thing I didn't really like so far is all defensive teams. I thought that Drew Holiday should have made it over Patrick Beverley, but I understand it's a hard nod because, if your team is getting cooked, which the Pelicans were often, then it's going to be hard for you to get an all defensive nod. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like, if you look at the other teams, if you look at the other awardees, they're all on teams that have pretty solid defenses. You feel me? Like, Giannis was on first team, AD was first team, Ben Simmons, Marcus Smart was first team, Rudy Gobert, and then you got second team
Kawhi, Bev,
Bledsoe, Brook Lopez, and Bam Adebayo. So I'm glad to see Bam in there. That's one we didn't talk about, but I'm glad to see Bam getting some love. I do think that the MVP wholeheartedly should, even if we are basing it off before the bubble, I'd probably go Bron. No fact, he was leading the league in assists. You feel me? And not even what you would consider a point guard. Like, there's been times when Giannis hasn't played when the Bucks were actually still winning games. You feel me? Like, I don't think I've seen games this year where I'd like to watch a Lakers game with LeBron off the floor, because it's basically the Pelicans of last year without Drew Holiday. So it's AD and then everybody else. Like, not to say the Lakers don't have a solid supporting cast, because they do. I like some of the guys on their team. But in terms of most valuable, I think LeBron shows it every year in the playoffs that he really is probably the most valuable nigga on his team most years. You feel me? Because Giannis, I mean, they won a game without him. They would have got swept with Giannis. They would have had a worse outcome with Giannis on the floor than what actually happened in reality. I think. We won't ever know.
Yeah,
we won't ever know. But it looked like they kind of had
close.
Yeah, they had their game plan figured out. You feel me?
Yeah.
So I won't be mad if they give it to Giannis. He's a young dude. Get those 2-time MVPs. I like Giannis a lot, so I won't ever really be mad at him getting that MVP. But I do think it's a much tighter race for that MVP than a lot of people think. I really don't know how the media is going to vote it.
Right, though. Kyle, let me get your thoughts on this before I go to the next one.
Man, y'all made some great points. Honestly, I can agree across the board. John Morant definitely should have been 100 out of 100 in my book.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He's that young dude, the circumstances, point guard at that, undersized, and you lead your team damn near by yourself. I mean, that Grizzlies team, they definitely got some dogs out there, but he was actually took the lead in the reins from the jump, and he came and made his mark. So glad that they did that right. Like you said, I think that Zion talks was kind of disrespectful just because the dude played 20 games. You know what I'm saying? Zion's a great talent, but just the longevity aspect, he didn't play as many games. So that's some
bullshit.
Right, facts.
Straight up.
So as far as defensive player of the year, Bucks had the number one defense in the league. You know what I mean? They obviously wasn't alone. You got Lopez and Eric Bledsoe, who made the defensive second team alongside with them. So they just were all around great defense. And Giannis, You know what I'm saying? It's the engine. He's the motor. So
Yeah.
and as far as man, I mean, it was a lot of tough guys there this year, but I mean, like you said, double off the bench is you can't beat that. Trez is
Yeah.
he definitely comes in, makes an instant impact. I've been looking a little shaky this series, but it means going against
Yeah.
the best in the league. Uh, so I mean, I like what they've done so far. If we get into the MVP talk, see, I feel like what's taking place with the Heat series. It kind of tainted my perspective a little bit on Greek Freak getting it, just because.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And we about to get right to that too.
Right.
That's next.
I still would go Greek Freak just because of the. I mean, I wouldn't be mad. Put it like this, I would not be mad if LeBron James did it this year. I think he's going to average a triple double at 35, year 17. Like that. That's crazy. Latest team, number one in the West. So I mean, I think he's definitely deserving of the award this year. Just deserving. So I think he'd be interesting. I think you could throw Harden in there too. In all honesty, I don't think he gets enough respect as he should. You know what I'm saying? That 35 points a night, that shit ain't easy in the West, man. Lead your team to a top.
It ain't easy in the NBA. It ain't easy in any rec league. Averaging 36 is no small feat
at all. So I mean, I don't know, man. I feel like they've gotten it right so far. It's gonna be interesting to see with this MVP call.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing I do want to say, just because you just brought up something, you know what I'm saying, real good about LeBron with Ja Morant. He's in the West, bro. He's in the West. And you know what I'm saying? I don't think, I mean, I don't really know the lineup like that, like off the back of my hand. But Jaren Jackson, he wasn't a 20 and 10 guy, was he?
No, but he's a good shooter, you know, solid sniper, good defender.
Yeah.
But he ain't the guy, though.
Yeah. So in my mind, I'm thinking like, damn, I'm thinking like, you know, you got guys like Trae Young and, you know what I'm saying, just different situations like that. And I'm like, damn, bro, as a rookie, you know what I'm saying? And not a good hand. Memphis, just not a good team. You know, small market, middle of America. Nobody's gonna really go to Memphis. And like, I got a partner that live in Nashville that's from Memphis. He's like, you know where I live in Nashville, like, because I don't nobody want to live in Memphis. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Just hats off to the kid, man, and just keep it going. But man, we just got to get into this next one, and man. I'm just going to roll into it. The Heat rise to power. And Nate, I'm going to let you go, man. You know what I'm saying? just go.
Look, man, look. I'm gonna tip my hat real quick for y'all that's listening. You know, I'm tipping my hat right now. I gotta show love to my guy Cott. You know what I'm saying? He called before this series that he wouldn't be surprised if Miami pulled it out.
Yeah.
You know,
and got swept. That's what he said.
Yeah, and got, you know, they didn't finish to complete the sweep, but I don't think really anybody saw them coming like this, you know, crazy. Like, you know, even though he thought that he was going to win, you know, I don't even know if Cott thought, you know, they'd get him out of there in 5 early on. But I got to show love to the Heat, man. Like, you know, we've been talking in our group chat lately. Like, they really have a nice complementary team of playmakers. That's what I can say. Like, that the Bucks are really, really missing, because when Jimmy's not scoring, you know, he can play make. You got Goran Dragic, who can also score and play make. You got Bam Adebayo, who can score, rebound, and play make out of that center position. You feel me? You got Iguodala coming in the game, who can also play make. You feel me? Tyler Hero, like shout out the guy Tyler Hero. You know what I'm saying? He's coming out there facilitating as well. Like, the only player that they have that they really give good minutes to that doesn't know how to play make is Duncan Robinson. You feel me? And he's out there for one reason and one reason alone, and that's fine. Like, he does his role
Kodak.
Exactly. Like, he does his role very well. I also think this shows, man, Eric Spoelstra for a long time has been one of the best coaches in the NBA, man. Like, he has always in Miami had a team that has overperformed. Like, they get dudes out the G League. Kendrick Nunn, non-drafted. Duncan Robinson, non-drafted. You know what I'm saying? He's turning guys into, like, really, really good players. Like, if you go back to, 2017 draft, Bam Adebayo is probably your number 3 pick behind Jason Tatum and Donovan Mitchell. You know what I'm saying? If you really go back in hindsight, and that's because the system, the work that the Heat organization, you know, measuring body fat percentage, making sure guys are at every single workout. You know what I'm saying? Like, giving no passes. I really think, like, Jimmy kind of embodies that culture very well. because when the Heat were like, when LeBron was on the Heat and stuff like that, him, Wade, and Bosh, like they had some dudes that really was exciting, like really made you want to play hard. You feel me? You got some guys, but now they may not have the exact same talent, but they got some even more like feisty guys because they have a lot of guys on their team who have been counted out. You feel me?
Killers.
Jimmy Butler's been counted out. Jay Crowder, you feel me? You wouldn't consider him like a NBA star coming out of college or nothing like that. Like they have guys who have literally been underdogs their whole life, I feel like. So, you know, I look at them. I think that they can, you know, if the Celtics get to this next series, I really do think that the Heat could win that series. I'm not going to sit here and say that, you know, they can just flat out win it, you know, win them at 5 or something like that. But, you know, they may not be able. They could get that W. And to TOV Sports, he did come from a structured college basketball organization. That's a good point. I mean, he know what it looked like to succeed and compete at the highest level and go out and do it every night. So shout out to y'all. Caught good pick. You know what I'm saying? I just had to come out here and you know, we got to come out here and show love.
Cott, I'm gonna let you take the second take, but real quick though, one thing you said, Nate, because I'd be forgetting it, but with Eric Spoelstra, bro. And we gonna talk about it later when we bring up Steve Nash, but I just want to like say it now. You know, you got guys out here that didn't take the typical route to get head coaching, and people just started, man, he's a puppet. You know what I'm saying? Like he there just so Brian could shit on him. He ain't
just so Pat, just because he's Pat Riley's guy.
Pat Riley gonna shit on him? No. He really out here, real deal, Holyfield. You know what I'm saying? Real deal. But Cott, let me get you in on this, man. I want to get your thoughts. I know what you thinking. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna just let you have the flow real quick.
Man. Hey man, I don't want to say I told you so, but
yeah,
you did though.
But nah, man, you made a great point. I feel like right now, Pat Riley, Eric Spoelstra, they've done a great job of getting a group of dudes who completely match their system, their whole aura as a program, their values. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I told him before. I'm like, yo, this Heat team is everything that their franchise wants in a team. You know what I mean? We brought up the point about Jokic being able to set up an offense and initiate offense. I feel like the next best guy center is Bam at that. You know what I mean? He's a guy who can score all 3 levels. He can handle it. He can.
He can't shoot the 3, but he can score though.
Right. I mean, he can hit a 3. I've seen him hit a step back 3 at the buzzer. So, and he just turned 23.
Nah, Bam, nice. He got my respect.
So you got him. Hero. Hey, shout out to my boy Tyler Hero.
All right, say your take from yesterday though too. We got to put that on record.
Hey, I heard it here first. If I had to compare Tyler Hero's game to one person in the league, I would say he resembles Devin Booker, in my opinion.
Is that his ceiling though?
I'm not saying his ceiling is Devin Booker. I feel as though that the way, just his swag, his skill set. Come on, bro. He's a guy they both went to Kentucky. About 6'5", 6'6", number 13 overall in Kentucky. They recruit the same type of guys. So it's why Tyler Hero was picked. You know what I mean? His core.
Hey, look, I can agree that their game styles is similar.
He's a dog, and I feel like that's the biggest thing for me, at least. You know what I'm saying? I look at how you gonna come on the court every night. That boy is out there ready to kill. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like yesterday he opened up I've seen it before, but he really opened up his bag yesterday. This is a guy who's the Ryan team. They're already a deep team, and he's getting major minutes. He's getting minutes over Iguodala. He's getting minutes over proven guys, and he's a rookie.
Look, bro, he took Kendrick Nunn's minutes. Yeah, he took Kendrick Nunn minutes, bro. Nunn don't even start right now.
And so the fact that Spoelstra and Pat Riley are trusting this dude at this young age to come in, handle the ball in pressure situations, and the fact that he's performing, I feel like the kid sky's the limit, man. I'm not saying that he's Devin Booker. I know Devin Booker put up 70. You know what I'm saying? I know that's why it just sounds wild, but
yeah,
I think that Hero has all-star potential. You know what I'm saying? The way that him was running that pick and roll yesterday, I'm telling you, man. But as far as the all around series, I feel like the Heat have a, you know what I'm saying, they have the perfect, like I say, group of guys for that system, for that culture down there in Miami. And I saw holes in the Bucks game. Like just to watch them.
Yeah.
Like remember, we go back to the original point. The bubble's different. The bubble is a different environment. It's a, and the fact that momentum is real in basketball. How you play it don't just turn on one game just because it's the playoffs. You know what I mean? So that's why I thought that Miami was playing really well and the Bucks was having some struggles. And they improved to the point where they needed to improve in order to take that next step. And that's those, those I'm saying in the playing game. So I mean, I think this Miami team. I'm like another hot take right now. I got Miami.
Hot take king.
They're coming out of the Eastern Conference.
It ain't a hot take now. It's a 50-50 chance.
Yeah. Hey,
they there.
I'm calling my prediction for next series. Y'all heard it here first. I got.
Well, look, let me touch on one thing before you hop in, Micah.
Yeah.
You know, like we've been like, you know, just Kai said, like the bubble is different. We talked about a few weeks ago though how like the Bucks were already starting to trend downward toward the end of like the cutoff of the NBA season. And this is another reason why I'm upset that Mike Budenholzer hasn't been fired just yet. You feel me? Like he should have gotten fired because they were already down 3-1 in the regular season. And like when I went back and watched, you know, some highlights of the game, they're literally running the exact same game plan that they was doing in the regular season when they lost 3-1 to the Heat. You know, like me and Kai talked about that a few weeks ago before this series even happened. Like, you know, they beat them in the regular season. I don't always put too much stock in the regular season, but if you go back and look at the games, they literally ran the exact same game plan in the playoffs that they did during the regular season against the Heat, and it clearly wasn't working. So I don't really understand what film Mike Budenholzer was looking at. I definitely would have made a much more free flow offense around it and not had Giannis just trying to drive lanes. You feel me? I would have tried, you know, get somebody else cutting, some people moving around. You feel me? It was just too stagnant and too reliant on one guy when they really should have just been moving the ball and letting their athlete, you feel me, play like an athlete. Like they got Giannis, you feel me, doing stutter step, little pull-ups, you feel me? Like that's not his game, bro. Get your athlete to be the best player on the floor by allowing him to play in space and creating that. So, you know, the bubble is different, but I think it really just shows like the Heat have been legitimate all year. You know, if they beaten them 3-1 in the regular season, you know, they might not have had the best record. You know, they were 4 seed coming in. But, you know, I think it shows like, you know, like Kai said, like they do have some dogs, and when those big moments come around, you feel me, they perform. So I'm curious to see how they, you know, keep progressing.
Let me get in there. So, man, go ahead. Yeah, you got it.
As far as an adjustment that I personally would have made if I was Budenholzer on the Bucks, I would have limited Brook Lopez's minutes. I was noticing that he was a liability out there in a sense because he can't stick Bam. Bam, it's kind of the same. You're talking about Zubac and Jokic. You bring him out to the 3-point line, he's a different player. So I personally would have put Greek Freak at the 5.
Exactly.
Let him, and then bring like a Marv Williams or Ilya Silva, let them run the 4, and then you can run with them. Because I was noticing Spoelstra, they didn't play Plumlee. No, who was it?
Nope.
Is it Plum? No, Myers Leonard. They didn't play Myers Leonard.
Hell no.
It's no problem.
From the Celtics. The went to Gonzaga.
Kelly Olynyk. He didn't play too many minutes either.
He didn't too many minutes. You know what I mean? So I feel like that. And I never touched on that earlier. I think Budenholzer needs to go personally. I think it's still. I'm not too big on heavy on the regular season. Use half-assed regular season. Playoff time is real strategy. You know, you got to beat it 4 times. That's when you really see what you made about what type of energy are you accumulating to perform. So, I think it's about this time.
See, look, that's where they miss a guy like Mirotic, you feel me? Because that would have been the perfect dude for this year if you slide Giannis to that 5, you know what I'm saying? Put Mirotic there at that 4, you got a sniper, you feel me? Middleton at that 3, another sniper, you feel me? Wesley Matthews, he had a really bad series to me. Like, really bad series.
He been getting smoked since the first round.
he was just out there running, as Russell likes to say. You feel me? But yeah, they definitely missed a guy like Harris this year.
Fact though, just to get in here, man, just real quick. Just like I said, I think it was after game 1, and I said it just so it could just be on the record. Jimmy Butler said, all that family shit is cool, but that's not what I'm here for. And that's exactly what we seen. That boy came out slime king and white noses. That's all they did was white noses. And from everybody in that rotation, whether Kelly Olynyk played 2 minutes, whether it was Duncan Robinson, you know what I'm saying, who played 10 minutes, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody wiping noses. So that's one thing I can say, like, you know what I'm saying, just real quick, that the Heat, they just played their lane, bro, and they never got off their game plan. You know what I'm saying? Like, they just stuck true to who they are and they dogs, and we just gonna get buckets how we get them. It was, I don't know if it was the last game of the game. It may have been game 3 or game 5. Like, what? And yeah, Jimmy had like 14. Hero had like 14. Iggy had like 11. Olynyk had like 2. Like, you know what I'm saying? They spread it out. Dragic had like 13. You know what I'm saying? So it's no big eyes and little U's over there. And I feel like that was kind of like the misconception that people got with Jimmy. You know, when he just leaving from Chicago to Minnesota to Philly, now to Miami. And he made it clear, like, it ain't no, you know what I'm saying, no big eye, little you situation. You know what I'm saying? This is just we. And
we all eating.
Yeah, and the only thing I require for you to be with me is you be a dog. And that's it. As long as you a dog, you good. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, y'all said a lot of good points. I don't really have too much to add on to it, man. I'm proud of the Heat. And I see next round, hopefully the Celtics handle business. I see that going 7 games easily.
Me too.
Easily.
Me too.
Like, it's good. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's gonna be a good series. 2 teams that know how to match up. It may just be Bam may have a mismatch for sure. You feel me? Because Theis, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what you gonna do.
That series for me.
Yeah, like so Theis gonna really have to step it up if that's the case. But man,
Robert Williams been stepping up, man, too. You feel me? And he's just as big, and he's a freak athlete. You know what I'm saying? He might be just as good as an athlete as somebody like Bam. I may not put my stock into him, but I think it could go 7, bro. There's so much versatility on the floor for the Celtics, and that's what the Bucks were missing. You feel me? Just more playmakers. Jaylen Brown can get you a bucket, but he can also run a pick and roll. Like a pick and roll with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum is scary because it's like, what option do you guard? You feel me? And then you got Kemba Walker, amazing playmaker. Marcus Smart, a playmaker on both ends of the floor. You know what I'm saying? Like, they have a lot of defensive versatility too. So I'm looking forward to that series, bro. But one thing I want to say about Jimmy, he definitely did some image control with this year. You feel me? Like, he definitely starting to reshape his image around the league, which is cool to see. Because I never thought he was a bad guy or nothing, but there were a few situations where it just kind of looked a little like, he might be doing a little too much, you know what I'm saying? But he definitely doing some image control with this one. So, shout out to Jimmy, shout out to the Heat.
Fact though, man. And just to get to the next one, man, we got 3 topics. Billy Donovan, man. Billy Donovan has now been fired, man. They hand him his papers. He's walking. I need to get y'all reactions on this. Cod, I'm gonna let you go first, man. I need to hear what's your thoughts on Billy Donovan getting fired, the future of OKC, and just everything to come for Billy Donovan. Like, does he have a job? Does he have job opportunities waiting for him, and just everything surrounding the whole situation? I'm gonna start with you, Cod.
Man, I'm gonna say this is it's a little bit surprising. I will say. Personally, I was not the biggest fan of Billy Donovan when he first came into the league from Florida. I thought that his offensive set. I just thought he wasn't getting to the guy. He did come into a tough situation, and straight collegiate level to the NBA and then to superstars. You know what I mean? So that was tough, but I feel like definitely the most shocking aspect of it, he definitely proved himself. I mean, nobody's going to come in perfect. It takes time to, kind of get to the level, get used to the players, a different dynamic. I feel like he definitely came into his own and started proving his worth. Here, they overachieved, and so that's what makes it the most shocking that after he has his, I would say, his best year, as their head coach, they fire him. So it's definitely a little shocking. He actually won the coaches. If they said they voted for him to be coach of the year, excuse me, besides Nick Nurse. So I mean, it's definitely tough. As far as the move, I do think it goes a little bit deeper than actually how he performed. I think that OKC didn't want to win this year. You know what I mean? They didn't necessarily expect.
They got all them draft picks coming. They know what they was doing. Yeah,
right. So it's like, I mean, it's kind of tough. It's kind of the position that the Wizards have been in for a while now. It's like you're good enough to compete, but not good enough to win. Now you're like a mid team, and you're only gonna get the first pick. So you like, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of tough to go again. So I feel like that the OKC they want a clear house. Like, I mean, they proved it with the rumor circulating this past year. So, you know, Chris Paul was when he came there. They thought it was going to release him. Thinking about trading, putting Steven Adams on the trading block, which was questionable to me too. Like, I'm like, you must be trying to tank. So I mean, I feel like that still may be the agenda for their management, their front office. I feel like Billy Donovan, since his work was, I'm saying he did his job this year, and because of that, I feel like with the amount of coaching vacancies about to be open in the upcoming season, I feel like he'll definitely get picked up.
One thing, what
was that?
What'd you say, Kyle? You got it. My bad.
I was gonna say, as far as a good fit for him, I feel like he could transfer somewhere like Chicago, where
they have interest in him too.
Right, I feel like that could be a good destination for him, just because
I like that.
It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of like the same mode. We got a super talented player, but nobody who is that Kevin Durant, that Westbrook level. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he's shown, at least till to this point, that he thrives well with good all around teams, rather than when he focuses on one superstar. It's like I felt like the offense. But I feel like they had a good system, and he proved it this year.
Yeah, and one thing that you said that stuck out to me is that this is probably his best year. I don't care, you know.
Most definitely his best year.
He wasn't there when KD was there. It was Scott Brooks, wasn't it?
He had 1 year with KD.
Yeah,
1 year.
KD's last season he coached. I feel like he was why KD left personally. They're off.
For sure. Even with that, bro, like this is literally, like you said, the best season I feel like he's had. No matter what, you know what I'm saying, what went on with Russ or none of that. Like, I would throw all of that away. Russ getting the triple doubles, Russ putting him in the HC. I'll throw all of that away just for this season right here. You know what I'm saying? Because Chris Paul did it with guys who we didn't really, outside of Gildrich Alexander. Of course, we know what Steven Adams is, but he did it with guys that weren't sought after in the league. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like this is his best coaching job to this date. But one thing you said, I definitely would like to see him, you know, in Chicago or somewhere else, man, because it clearly shows that he's able to develop players to some. I don't know if we could blame it on Chris Paul or anything, because we weren't seeing it all the way with Westbrook there, but he's able to do something with players that, you know what I'm saying, developing players. A lot of coaches can't do it. That's why a lot of coaches get fired. You know what I'm saying? So. And one thing I feel like, just with him being there for 7 years, I feel like they probably was just trying to do like a new face. You know what I'm saying? Like, since they're getting all these draft picks, and like you said, they may have been trying to tank, or you know what I'm saying, tank the season. So I feel like, you know, it's just probably they just wanted to get a new face in there, so the new guys have a new message. You know what I'm saying? And there's not really too many vets around there anyway that you could say. I mean, unless you want to say Steven Adams, because he's been there for a little minute, but
he's still pretty young too.
Fact, you know what I'm saying? So it's no one really that I just echo, you know what I'm saying, Billy Donovan's message for years and years, like how it is with Pop or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I definitely think he didn't fail as a coach to me because there's a lot of coaches that go outside. I feel like he performed pretty good, and I feel like he should definitely have a gig waiting for him, man, somewhere. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe in the middle of America again, probably Pacers, something. I don't know. He coached Oladipo before, but
Facts.
yeah. But Nate,
I'm
let
gonna
me
say,
get your thoughts on that.
just he technically didn't get fired. His contract was up, but same thing.
Yeah.
But I think Kai had a great point. I think that originally it was a very bad hire. Like you had two superstars literally in their prime, and then you go fish somebody out of college. Like I don't think any real basketball head would really agree with that hire when it first happened. Because it's just like you can't expect him to make that transition from a college coach to an NBA coach. And we'll talk about Steve Nash a little later. Just the learning curve is just so steep. You know what I'm saying? Like just from you coaching guys at Florida, but you ain't never coached nobody of the caliber of Russell and Kevin Durant. You feel me? Like he had great teams down there in Florida. He had good success too. Got championships, but they really threw him into the fire. Like it was coming to the point where KD literally was in his prime, and Russ was starting to meet that. They needed a veteran voice in there. They needed a leader, somebody that's been there before. And I think OKC failed in that regard. But as he's gotten, as he's progressed as a coach, I think this OKC situation is the perfect situation for him to still be the coach. Like he may not be a championship coach, but he's a great coach for somebody in a rebuild situation. Like you said, he's developing young talent. It seems like the young guys buy in. It seems like they believe in themselves, like Lou Dort. You feel me? Russell, Chris Paul, nobody could have changed the fact that, at the end of the day, a coach has to give a guy like Lou Dort confidence. You feel me? And Billy Donovan literally let the reins loose on him. And he did, he performed. He earned his coach's trust. So it was an awkward, I think it was an awkward decision to me because it's just like, even if you do plan on rebuilding, the dude he's literally shown you that he can, develop cats and like get guys to buy in. So, if you're not really looking at a championship window, I think he's a solid guy for that. He's used to working with young players anyway, having being a college coach, you feel me, having a lot of turnover. But he should definitely get another job. I saw Chicago has interest. I think that's a good gig for him. Like Kot said, he made a great point. They don't really have any superstars. They have some good pieces that I think can become even better with a good coach. Because Jim Boylan, he's a fucking disaster, dude.
Yeah,
I mean, the dude had his players punching him on time clocks. Like, bro, you feel me? Like, just stuff like that is just weird in the NBA. Like, these are multi-millionaires. Like, shut the fuck up, bro.
Yeah. And one thing I did want to say too before we got off this, Billy Donovan was one turnover away
from being in the second round.
From the Western Conference semifinals. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that's also one thing to pay attention to. So, like I said, well, Koch, you said it. All of us said it. Like it just wasn't a fail as a season, but I just feel like maybe they just thought they needed a new face in us. So, y'all got
I won't say I'm too mad at the hire. I do say I feel like he deserves that job. However, I kind of understand OKC. Like, it shows me that Chris Paul is gone. Like, he won't make it he won't play another game in the OKC jersey. Like, it shows me they're going in complete rebuild mode, which is fine. Like, they kind of have been needing to do that since Kevin Durant left. And then Russ leaving I think that Russ leaving helped expedite their timeline. You feel me? Like him getting traded and Paul George asking for a trade. Like, it just kind of sped up the inevitable. Like, that team wasn't going to win a championship either. So, start over, bringing somebody fresh, man. But there's so many coaching vacancies right now. I don't even know who they're going to end up with. So, it'll be interesting to see.
Fact, though. And since we just talking to coaches, man, we could get in on this next one. Is D'Antoni on the hot seat? And I'm going to leave this one off, man. I feel like, I feel like he never left the seat. Really, I feel like he was like I said, Billy Donovan was a turnover away from being in the Western Conference semifinals. D'Antoni was not getting it not getting the stop away from getting fired. You know what I'm saying? That day, same action Brett Brown got, he would have got the same action. I feel like what he has done, though, I feel like he has kind of prolonged his stay to give him kind of a fighting chance in there. And I know he was Harden's man, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like they got to get rid of D'Antoni for them to grow to the best thing. Even Harden to grow to the best thing that he could possibly be. Just
Facts.
because one thing, I don't know if you all remember in the Jordan Last Dance documentary when he was talking about his first coach, he was like, "Man, I hated that damn Phil Jackson was coming in because my first coach, only thing he did was gave me the ball. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
Phil was trying to get the ball out of my hands. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like it'll
Great
be
point.
tough for Harden to really let go of D'Antoni, but I feel like it's time, bro. You know, just maybe if Harden got that Jordan gene in him, maybe he could tap into that next level, you know what I'm saying, and be really in the system instead of playing ISO ball all day. ISO ain't gonna do it, bro. You know what I'm
Like,
saying?
man,
Like the small ball, they call it a system. I don't really think of it as a system because it's just putting small players out there on the court that could
and
shoot
shooting
threes.
threes.
Yeah,
Right.
ain't no system to that.
It's not much of a system behind it, bro, and that's why I've never been a fan of D'Antoni even before this year, bro. Like he did the exact same thing with the Suns. He prioritized offense. It's brand new offense, kind of the same shit with Sean McVay. You feel me in the NFL? You know they call them offensive geniuses is what they call them, and you know you really look at what they do. They're really not doing anything special. They're just flashy. You know what I'm saying? They're just taking what they've seen from the Warriors and overdoing it, you know? But this is the thing with D'Antoni, bro. His booty is burning, nigga. That seat been hot as hell all season, bro. All season. Like, and his contract expires at the end of this year either way. So, you feel me? If he had a good season, maybe they bring him back. But if I'm the Rockets, I don't bring him back at all. I don't even consider it. I don't even take a meeting with you. You feel me? Like, thank you for your service. And, you know, we got to go a different direction. And honestly, I think that'll also end the Russell and Jay Harden pairing as well. Like, if this series has shown anything, that pairing with this system will never work. Like, you know, with a big, Russell Westbrook is very effective because he pushes pace. He's a good pick and roll player. He's a good lob threat. He can throw the lob to somebody else. You feel me? He's attacking lanes and he's making shots for everybody else. Like that's the ideal situation. Playing with a center like Steven Adams, Clint Capella. You know what I'm saying? But you give that all away. Like I don't see where Russ ever fit into this offense. Yo. Yep.
Yo.
Micah.
Yo. Can y'all hear me?
Yep. Yeah. He back off. Go ahead, Cot. What you got to say about D'Antoni?
Yeah, man. So, man, Micah made a great point about the Jordan and his first coach aspect.
That was a hell of a
point. It was a hell of a point. I don't think that. First of all, I don't think Harden is Jordan, and I think that Harden. I feel like his relationship with D'Antoni could save D'Antoni's job. Personally, I don't think that the best for their future. I don't think that D'Antoni's system is a championship system. It's literally not anything. It's a get right now. They got to get a group of guys who are some dogs, but it's like we got our five. We running. We gonna lean on the back of our best people, take damn near all the shots, and we gonna the offense is way too stagnant. Like you can't win like that. Defenses are way
too playoffs,
especially in the playoffs. But defenses are way too good in the NBA. Guys are way too athletic. It was multiple times like what I noticed. And at this point, I think that either D'Antoni has to go or Russell Westbrook has to go because he does not. Or both, definitely an option as well. But I personally think that Harden's relationship with him is strong enough to keep him in that seat. Personally,
one thing real quick, Kat, that I wanted to add in that I just remembered, but they grew to be different players than they were in OKC. I feel like what I'm saying, they were like the Rockets were trying to chase a fantasy. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't rational thinking, bro. They grew to be different players. You know what I'm saying? But keep going, Kat.
That is a great point. I feel like with the current system, Russell Westbrook, like it was multiple times in the game, I would see he would drive to the basket. And if in that system right now, if Russell Westbrook drives to the basket, he has to try to finish because he
For sure.
didn't have guys around him. Mainly ate off of guys cutting with him while he
Yeah,
got
they're not cutting at all. They're standing at the
right.
3-point
No
line.
program to stand at the 3-point line, and then
Mm-hmm.
look, try to pass the ball out, and they're telling the guy they're denying on the wing. So
Mm-hmm.
he just been caught in the hole, like especially when he had a bigger defender on him, where he felt. I guess he wasn't as confident that he couldn't finish him, but it just doesn't work, man. Like you can't have Iver in a shooter system. They
Well,
would
look,
leave
I was
him, man.
talking.
And he's a liability, especially with
Mm-hmm.
his injury. Like he's not. Granted, he's not 100%. He definitely did his thing in the regular season when they
Mm-hmm.
eventually decided to go with the small ball. But I just think, man, it's not going to work. Especially if they want to bring a ring to Houston. It's just
Well,
Tony either. If you stay with D'Antoni, they got. If you get rid of D'Antoni, which I personally think is the best move,
mm-hmm.
you just got to get a culture shift in there because right now,
For
but it's
sure.
Harden going to be happy with that. That's your best player. That's your
Right.
money. So it's like it's. I feel like they're in a tough predicament.
See, back to the point, like the difference between Harden and Jordan. Obviously, there's a lot, but this is the fundamental difference that I don't think a coaching change will really make a difference. Is because dudes used to fear Jordan offensively because it's not about the way he can get you 35. You feel me? He averaged 37 a year. It's about the way that he was doing it against defenses. James Harden, he doesn't put no like you got a game plan for him, but no one's afraid of James Harden in the last 12 minutes of a game. You feel me? Because
Not
one, he's not a clutch player. He really hasn't shown to be a clutch player. And two, his package is just so one dimensional in the fourth quarter. Like if he's not scoring, he's not really going to be affecting the game. There's a few outliers like when he got that steal big block against OKC, but like, do I expect James Harden to make plays like that? No. But another point I want to hit on something that Micah said about them just trying to force, OKC part two. I really just think that the relationship with Chris Paul and James Harden soured so much that they had to do something. And given the fact that it soured like that, they kind of made the best move possible because all they did was like a player swap because both of them, Russ and Chris Paul, are on that little supermax deal. You feel me? So they did a good swap for what they could have done. I didn't see any other team taking that big of a contract from Russell. I don't see any team really needing him that desperately to give him a supermax deal. I think the Rockets kind of did what they had to a little bit. If the relationship was that sour between Jay Harden and Chris Paul, which to me it kind of looked like it was. Like I don't think Chris Paul even said himself like,
I'm about to say, especially if Chris Paul said that we ain't talked since.
For me, like he was like, we affiliates, we cool, but he not gonna tell my daughter happy birthday or nothing. Yeah. But I think we talked about it last week. The Russ and Jay Harden pairing is just unnatural. You feel me? Jay Harden needs shooters around him. Russell needs athletes and shooters as well. You feel me? But at the same time, like they're both best when the ball is in their hands. And you made a great point we was talking about with Jordan. Have somebody come take out the ball out his hands. I think that the best impact that I've seen that happen this year was in Devin Booker's game. I'm not saying he's Jordan, obviously, but if you could tell, like all the prior coaches for Monty Williams, all they was just, all right, Devin Booker, you go out there, you feel me, you're going to go out on your backup ISO. Like Monty Williams, I think Devin Booker's averaging as much as he ever has, but the free flow of the offense and the trust and, you have to trust your other players to make plays in big time points of the game. Like, I don't see that trust between James Harden and Russell Westbrook on the floor. Yeah. I don't really see that trust with James Harden in anybody. Like the ball is always going to be in his hands at the end of games, which is cool, but at some point you're going to have to trust your other teammates. And, I'm not to say he doesn't. Eric Gordon gets a lot of shots, but, just the way they play, man, like that's not sustainable basketball. If I was at the park running with a nigga like Jay Harden, I'd be mad unless he was scoring everything.
Bro, I've been told niggas.
Hey, at the last,
if James Harden is a player, I would fight daily, like literally daily. Like nigga, it's no coming out here shooting 43 shots. You got 47. No, bro, we fighting. It ain't no if and we're fighting, bro. Because you're not about to what, nigga? It's like, bro, it's borderline disrespectful type shit. Like, bro, like damn, dog. But one question I did want to ask y'all. can you put a system on James? Like, can you put him in a system, or is it? Do you think he's just too far gone with who he is as an ISO player?
That's a great question.
That's the point I was just trying to make.
God, I can't hear you.
I said that's what. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
You can hear him. Just keep it going. Keep going. Man.
Yeah, I was saying. I think that's the point I was trying to make. I think that right now, Harden came into a role with that D'Antoni system and that D'Antoni system. I feel like who Harden is, he wouldn't be happy internally if a coach came in and tried to change his game style. You know what I'm saying? You have to win another piece too. Like who's that replacement piece? Yes, I see Russell Westbrook. Who's that replacement piece who's really going to ball out of Harden's hands right now? His career. I think that he's like I said, his game style is ISO ball is him. That ISO step back. I feel like that relationship with D'Antoni and the fact they gave that man the supermax, I feel like they just gonna have to rock with it, with what they got. You know what I mean? And
look, I think that Jay Harden is so talented, man, and it's so frustrating because if you go back and watch OKC's earlier years, he was a cutter, bro. You feel me? He was a legit slasher, cutter, and scorer, like all three. You know what I'm saying? And it frustrates me watching his game because he averages 36 right now. But with a few off the ball cuts, some back screens, you feel me? He's athletic enough to catch a backdoor lob. You know what I'm saying? Like, why is that so hard for him to adjust? And I think, it's definitely going to take a coach that is really on his ass. Like, bro, you feel me? You need to cut. You feel me? Like, why can't you go get a backdoor dunk? Why can't you go get a layup? An assisted basket. You're not going to win a game if every basket of yours is unassisted. You feel me? Like, that's not – you're the best player. You're going to need to get some easy looks, bro. You're going to have some people feed you. You feel me? A dude like LeBron, he's going to get a backdoor lob. You know what I'm saying? He might even come off a back screen, get a three. KD, that's the whole reason he left OKC. You feel me? Because he wanted other guys to be able to create for him. Same issue with Giannis. Like, you need somebody else to be able to create, and you also have to make yourself available to get created for. Like, move around. You feel me? Like, why are you standing at half court when it's 10 seconds left on the shot clock? Like, you're not gonna cut. Put some pressure on the defense. So that's the most frustrating part for me watching Jay Harden, bro. Because it's just like, damn, he's so athletic. He's strong too, bro. He's huge, bro. Like, if you ever seen Jay Harden in person, bro, he's like 6'6", gotta be like 250. You feel me? Maybe bigger, bro. He's huge. And like, you don't have no post up in your game. You don't have no turnaround. You don't cut. You feel me? You're not like, I would just like to see him mix it up because you could still get 36 doing all those things, but everybody else is touching the ball on every possession. They're not just standing around. Like, you should never just be standing above the 3-point line for a whole possession. Like, bro, run around. Like, you're not watching Steph. You're not watching Clay. You're not watching the dudes in the game right now. Even somebody like Dame. Dame is coming off screens and sniping. You feel me? With no dribble. I haven't seen James Harden do that. So, I'd like to really see a coach come in there and just really implant in him that you got to diversify your offensive game. Like, yes, the layups and floaters are cool. Yes, the step back threes are nice. But, make it easy on yourself. Let somebody else create the offense for you.
I don't know if y'all gave, like, any coaching recommendations, but who would y'all think? Like, I'm going to say, who do y'all think, like, what type of coach or would it take for him to be accepting of a system, to put him, to put Harden in the system?
I got to go. Oh, go ahead, Kyle.
If I was going to say one, I know we say this a lot, but I feel like Mark Jackson.
Damn, man, I can't hear this.
I feel like you can't go. I feel like he's a point guard. I feel like he's a guy who he established a good situation out there in Golden State before he left. And he I feel like he's wise enough. He knows enough about the game. Top 4 in assists all the time. So, I just think he could be a good fit out there. I feel like Harden. It's hard to gauge a lot of these superstars. They have ego. So,
sure.
Really can't too many people tell him anything. So, I feel like he's a guy who who, you know what I'm saying, he's a Hall of Famer. I feel like he can come in and really drill a new system into Harden. In that.
See, I like Mark Jackson, but I don't think he would be the right guy to coach Jay Harden, because one thing about Mark Jackson, he's also pretty stubborn. You feel me? That's kind of one of the reasons that it didn't work out with the Warriors. You know, although he did start what the Warriors were doing when Steve Kerr came in, he made that offense even a little like more deadly. Like, you know, Steph got better, Clay got better, Draymond got better. But I think that it would have to be a real general. Like, I think Popovich is one of the only dudes in the league who could get Jay Harden to play a different way. You feel me? Maybe a guy. No. I don't think Pop would do it. But, you know, this is just more about, you know, who I think would be a good fit for him. I don't think any of these would happen. But, you know, Eric Spoelstra could be a good dude, because he can make him buy in. He's had superstars before, multiple at a time. You know, even a guy like, you know, what I've seen with Nick Nurse right now. Like, he's going to make you play hard. He's going to make you do some things that make you a little bit uncomfortable. And that's why I do like Siakam has gotten better. You feel me? He's gotten more efficient. And somebody like Brad Stevens, you know, I think it needs to be somebody who really has offenses that are, you know, built around everybody cutting and movement. Like Mark Jackson, I do like Mark Jackson for most jobs, but I don't think him and Jay Harden would be a good pairing. I think it's going to have to be somebody that's just like really very, very stern and just like, look, bro, like somebody has to tell him, like, you're not going to accomplish the goals that you want to accomplish playing the way that you want to right now. Like, you're just not, you know, like, and that's just, you know, that's not no hater shit. It's just being realistic. Like, the goals that you have of having the championships or ever being the best player in the league, those aren't going to happen playing the way he does right now. And I don't know who it is, but I think, you know, he would have definitely benefited by playing under somebody like Pop.
Fact though, man. Just to get into this next one, my bad. I can hear both y'all now. My technical difficulties. I kept signing back on. I'm just hearing one person. I'm like, damn. But no, just to get to this last one, man. I just want to get y'all thoughts on this Steve Nash hiring. There was a lot of controversy surrounding it. You got some reporters like Stephen A. Smith saying white privilege, and you know what I'm saying, there's a lot of things being said. So I just wanted to get y'all thoughts on everything. Cod, I'm gonna start with you, man.
As I'm put it out there, I'm a huge KD fan. So right now Brooklyn is my team. It's not the hometown team. KD comes back. But I really like the hire. And I'm gonna give you a couple reasons why. Like, in order for the Brooklyn Nets to take that next step and to be the championship team they aspire to be, Kyrie Irving has to make sort of the same type of growth and strides as James Harden, similar to James Harden.
I can agree with that.
I'm a huge Kyrie Irving fan. I think he's super talented, but he showed me his true colors when his stint in Boston. I feel as though he a team that's well coached, systematic, prove winners, because the year that he wasn't there, they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. And I feel like he didn't adjust his game and take that next step in order to lead a team and to get the ball out of his hands and to do what's best for the group rather than do what's best for Kyrie. You know what I'm saying? And I feel as though in order for him to take that next step, he has to become a better floor general, a better point guard. And in order to do that, Kyrie Irving is a basketball mind. He's a champion. When you need a guy like Steve Nash, you need a guy who can drill it into his head, who Kyrie will be receptive of advice from, and who he respects. Because let's think about it. Brad Stevens couldn't even change his game. Brad Stevens is one of the best coaches in the game. So I feel as though Steve Nash is a guy, even though this is his first head coaching job, he's a former 2-time MVP, one of the best point guards to ever play the game. So I feel as though, and his reputation amongst the guys in the league is, you know what I'm saying, it's great. They love him. So I feel as though he could be that guy to take Kyrie Irving to that next level. And my second point I want to make is I feel as though it's a great hire because this picture right here, you know, he was there with KD's stint in Golden State. So he was able to build a relationship with him. It's a guy who KD probably trusts. He probably learned a lot from him out there being a player development guy. So I feel like with KD and Kyrie and their personalities, you need a guy that they're comfortable with, that can get to them, and they can put his foot down and say, no, this is what the best thing to do for this team is, rather than you know what I'm saying, to break through that egotistical barrier that all these superstars have. You know, it's I mean, and they've earned it. You know what I'm saying? They play like they're Kyrie and KD are two all-time great players. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's a great hire. And as far as Stephen A's point, I'm not going to shoot down the argument. Yes, there needs to be more black head coaches in the league. I feel like with this hiring, I feel like it doesn't apply in this situation because let's be real, man. These teams are trying to win. I feel like Steve Nash gives them the best situation to win. And that's me personally. I feel like based on the current situation, and I think let's go. Uh, I mean, you got to do what's comfortable with the players. You know they talked about it with the players. You know
For
what I
sure.
mean? And also, he isn't the first. Richard Jefferson made a great point. He isn't the first former player to be hired without having any head coaching experience.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So I feel like it wasn't necessarily the white privilege in that sense, but Steve Nash here, he's the top 5 point guard of all time. You know, well, that's but he's an all time great point guard. So I feel like it's more his basketball knowledge, his basketball mind, and his relationship with the players in this situation. And I like the hire personally.
Yeah, Kyle, you bring up some good points, man. And one thing I want to say is that just off rip, I don't think it was the white privilege card at all. You know what I'm saying? And don't get me wrong, I understand what Stephen A. Smith was saying. Given, it just doesn't seem like a lot of black, you know what I'm saying, men will have that same opportunity that Nash should have right now. Granted, I know it's been done, but it is like I don't think we'll see too many more unless it's like CP3, you know what I'm saying, guys that's really been blessed into the league like that. And one thing you said that I do agree with is that Kyrie's gonna have to really show that he could get it together. And one thing, like you said, they definitely both signed off on this KD and Kyrie, but Kyrie got to understand, man, it's either you get with it or get lost. You know what I'm saying? You playing with KD. You being coached by one of the best ones to do it. You know what I'm saying? And the thing about Nash, that I like, a lot of these coaches can't get on the floor with you. Nash can get on the floor with you. You know what I'm saying? He can get on the floor with you on practice. He can run with the second wave. You know what I'm saying? So it could really be a hands-on, you know what I'm saying, process with him. So I definitely like to hire. I don't know, you know what I'm saying? I could only imagine who Nash is as a coach. I've never seen him really coach anything. I don't think he never has either AAU or anything like that. But I feel like he could definitely do something, man, because it's not going to take a lot. It's just going, you know what I'm saying, just being able to contain those personalities and being able to just keep feeding them more stuff. And another thing, just to get more just on Kyrie, like I said, you're going to have to get with it or get lost because them boys got options there, bro. Like, you got, not saying that LeVert is comparable to Kyrie, but he dropping 50s. You got Dinwiddie, who's not no scrub. You got
Dinwiddie got probably out of there.
You think he out of there?
Kyrie said himself they don't have the pieces to win, so I'm expecting a lot of changes in Brooklyn besides the coach. But continue, bro.
Yeah, but like you just got snipers, bro. You got Joe Harrison that's not a slouch from the 3-point line, was shooting the best from the 3-point line, not this season, last season with like 47%. So it's pieces out there. And I feel like Kyrie, I feel like he understands what's going on. He's definitely aware of the moment. And I feel like the best thing that the Nets could have done was making sure that both KD and Kyrie signed off on this coach selection. But Nate, what you got?
Look, man, I'm on the complete opposite side. I think that this is a terrible hire. Not on the racial front, you know, I'm not going to sit here and act like it was white boy privilege. I do understand Stephen A's comment, like, because realistically, you know, black men aren't getting those jobs without no experience. You know, that's not just an NBA issue. You know, that's an issue in corporate America as well. Like, black people just aren't given executive positions without experience. You feel me? It just doesn't happen. Like, you know, like CEOs are not going to hire a black man with no experience as they next CEO or VP, but they will do it for their white friend who has had industry experience somehow, but not related, right? I look at this hire as being bad. I just feel like they went out and got a sexy name, like the name Steve Nash. It sounds great, but if you look at the greatest players, you work Isaiah Thomas. No experience, you see how that worked out. Jason Kidd, no experience, you see how that worked out. You know what I'm saying? He also had a very talented guy, but, you know, I just think that the learning curve from being a player to being a coach is very steep. And I think that Brooklyn sent a wrong message by making this hire, because I'm not going to say, I don't know personally, but I do feel like Katie and Kyrie had a lot to do with this hire. And to me, it kind of shows that the organization is willing to do anything for their star players. And I always feel like that's a dangerous game, because you give them a little bit too much. Obviously, you want to keep them happy, but at some point, realistic like expectations have to come in. Like, if I'm a CEO, I'm not hiring somebody in an executive suite without any prior experience. You feel me? It's different sitting on a bench for years and years, but like, you know, Steve Nash, great X's and O's guy, I'm sure, as a point guard, but, you know, he was a developmental coach. And, you know, everybody's saying, like, it's going to be easy for him to step in and, you know, coach two superstars. I feel like we talked about Billy Donovan. I mean, he's not Steve Nash, but I do feel like that's a very, very difficult position to do in your first job in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? Like, not only does talent come with more expectations, but it also comes with a lot more disappointments if you lose. You feel me? Is he ready to handle, you feel me, a 3-game slid where everybody's talking shit about Brooklyn Nets and his coaching style? You feel me? I just personally haven't seen it. I would have liked for them to go out and made a hire on somebody who's like much more established. I mean, I can't really throw out a name right now, but I would like to have seen somebody in that seat with some type of tangible coaching experience. And, you know, people talk about Steve Nash. He does have MVPs, but Steve Nash was D'Antoni's system as well, bro. Like, is that the system that they're going to be running in Brooklyn? Because I damn sure hope not. But also, look. Look, people also talk about, you know, Steve Nash going to be able to go in there and put his foot down. Like, I've never seen that from Steve Nash personally. You feel me? He's a very great player. And, that, you know, I'm not taking nothing away from him. Like, people like Steve Nash, but shit, he didn't lead nobody to no finals as a point guard. You feel me? Like, I ain't never seen Steve Nash put his foot down, like, on a nigga. You know what I'm saying? So what makes me think, and, you know, this not me knocking Steve Nash. This is just me knocking no experience. Like, I'm just because in my everyday life, you know, sometimes you do have to give people chances, but you just got to look at the numbers of what, you know, the percentage of good things that have happened when people in the NBA have done that. Like, I feel like it really has not worked out too often. Just hiring like big time names. Like, I don't know one. That's kind of my point. Yeah, they might bully Nash just because, like, he don't have no experience. He could look. Nash has just as much coaching experiences as the guys on his team do. Besides development work.
But one thing I was gonna say, like, that I could say, the player development aspect that I said earlier that a lot of coaches lack. You know what I'm saying? It's clear that Nash can do that.
That's major. Look.
No. Look. That is major. But my point is this, bro. Kevin Durant was already great. Like, it's not like Steve Nash had a hard job in player developing Kevin Durant, bro. But look, this is also my point. Just because he's a player development guy, what other qualities besides, you feel me, he was a great point guard and player development coach, would qualify him for a head coaching job of a franchise with two superstars, bro? No. And that's my point. Like, it's no knock against Steve Nash. It's just about the percentage size of when it's happened. Like, most of the players that were great, your MVP, your all-stars, they turn out to be very shitty coaches, bro.
Yeah.
But hey, look,
they're not good.
Hey, I'm gonna let you
base that on clear analytics, bro. You can't base every situation is different. Steve Nash has been around the game, been in a managerial position, somewhere involved with the program ever since he's been stopped being.
So was Magic Johnson. So is Isaiah Thomas. Like, so is Steve Nash. I mean, Jason Kidd. Like, they just not good.
But being a head coach in the league has a lot to do with relationships. Has a lot to do with personality. It's more than just X's and O's. I feel like Steve Nash is loved throughout the league. I think reason why he's got that job. Bro. He wouldn't just, I'm telling you, being a point guard is like being a head coach.
All right, so tell me this. Why has every other top 5 point guard that I just named had an issue coaching teams with talent? Magic Johnson. Nobody has ever said nothing bad about Magic besides he has AIDS. Jason Kidd, you feel me? Very well liked guy throughout the league. You feel me? Yeah. It didn't work out with Giannis. He developed Giannis, but he didn't have the X's and O's to push them over the hump. You feel me? Isaiah Thomas, he was a terrible coach, bro. They are very good players.
I think you brought up Derek Fisher, and we just got to make it known that Ye already made it known. The nigga about to drive 90 miles like Matt Barnes just to whip a nigga ass. You know? But nah, man, that's some good points. But one thing I can say, bro, and okay, it is player development with KD. I don't know who else he played that role with, but I feel like if he's able to work with KD, you know what I'm saying, and being able to the point to where if KD feels like he excel his game that much, I feel like we should take him serious as a player development coach. Now, granted, you know what I'm saying, that no experience shit, I get all that shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm here, I feel that. You know what I'm saying? And it's gonna be a lot of flack that he catches if that's the case. If he just come out and be a terrible coach, you know what I'm saying? That's the one thing I can say about this. But I feel like we definitely gotta wait to see what happens with this because I feel like Nash not gonna be no slouch, man, and he not going into no situation that I feel like other player coaches have been able to go on into. Like you're going into a situation with a top really, I want to say 3, but he's not healthy right now. A top 5 NBA player and the top 20 NBA player.
But look, he's not a slouch. But I think that the issue is in like the sample size that we've seen with previous coaches with either no experience or you feel me, like coming into situations with great players. Because at the end of the day, bro, that experience in those crunch time situations behind the whiteboard matters. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's why look, that's why
I don't struggle with that.
But look, you say that as a point guard, as an offensive mind. Shit, bro, they never played defense down in Phoenix. You feel me? They never played defense because that was Mike D'Antoni's system.
Bro, it's a whole staff, and they kept the black guy who
they did.
They just gave him. He's like the highest paid assistant. I mean,
Jack Vaughn.
Right. Exactly.
I understand all those things. I personally, bro, I don't see how you could bring somebody with no experience into a team that's in win now mode. You feel me? Like they are definitely in win now mode. Like
for sure.
I have no issue with bringing a head coach on who has no experience to a team that you know they have room to grow. Like Steve Nash really has no room, like very small margin for error, bro, as a head coach with this team. Because what are your expectations for the Nets next year? Like before Steve Nash, you know, just looking at the talent they have, what do you expect them to do? Like where they going?
I got them competing for a chip. You know what I'm saying?
So his finals are bust his first year as a head coach.
Not off the first.
Not finals or bust.
It doesn't have to be the first year, bro. They have trying to lose the multiple year contracts. Come on, bro. It's still his first year.
Tyronn Lue's first year he won the title though. You feel me? And he had coaching experience. He might be a scrub. You feel me? He was never a great player, but he sat under Doc Rivers for 5+ years. You know what I'm saying? He sat as an assistant coach with Cleveland Cavaliers. Like that to me is so much different.
Kai, I'm gonna let you rebut it. Then we gonna wrap it up.
For sure.
I'm gonna let you get your rebuttal, and we gonna wrap it up, Kai.
Yeah. So I was just so all I'm saying is, Nate, you're making great points. I personally don't go off analytics. I feel like every situation is different. Every one of those guys you just named didn't come into as good of a situation as Steve Nash is in right now. He didn't have none of those guys had like you said, one of the arguably a top 5 and a top.
Derek Fisher did.
With what team?
Didn't he coach KD and Russ?
No, Derek Fisher coached the Knicks.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. All right, I'm tripping, bro. He was playing for OKC at that time.
Yeah. I'm like,
Yeah.
All right.
So no player, no former great point guard has
No.
ever come into a situation as Steve Nash. I feel like the biggest reason why they made this move is because the talent is there. The championship level talent is on that roster right now.
Kyrie don't think so.
Man, fuck that.
He said it himself, and that's your best
Look,
player.
look, yo. I mean, but Kyrie, I mean, that don't got nothing to do with this argument. That's mad. We took. So I mean, I personally think that they got enough. I think the biggest thing right now is you got to get guys to drill. You got to get those guys to lick. You got to get Calvin Irvin to take that next level. There is no other coach in the league right now who can who can take Kyrie next level. I do not think so. I think you have to get a great basketball mind like Steve Nash, who obviously has some type of connection, some type of relationship with Kyrie Irving. I wouldn't be surprised if they're already connected prior to this. I feel like he's that guy. If he's one person, and he's like I said, he's already the fact that he's a player development coach is huge. With Golden State, you could damn near say he watched that dynasty grow. He learned from that dynasty. You know what I'm
I'm
saying?
gonna say this last point, bro. I think what they should have done is made him an assistant coach. Like that would have been much more proper. You feel me? Like because Jock Vaughn was doing a good job. Like he knows the X and O's. He knows NBA defense. I think a compromise between the two would have been what the Lakers did with Jason Kidd this year. You feel me? Like bring him on, see how he does as an actual full-time coach. You know what I'm saying? Sitting on the bench, putting in input, making plays. Like see how he does. I just don't think throwing him in the fire in a win now situation will prove to be like great for them. I think, at the end of the day, like he could have got handed a situation like OKC and I would have been happy. You know what I'm saying? Because that makes sense. Like they developing, you feel me? But I just think that's such a high pressure job, man. I mean, KD, Kyrie, considering what we know about them and their personalities, I'm sure they know Steve Nash. I'm sure they're cool with Steve Nash. But even Steve Kerr, who's loved by everybody else, he had a hard time connecting with Kevin Durant as a coach. You know what I'm saying? That's not to say they have beef as people, but he had a hard time connecting with Kevin Durant even after 2 chips and 2 Finals MVPs.
And to that point, it's even harder for a new coach to make that connection, KD. Whereas you're getting a guy who just built a relationship with him while he won his rings in Golden State.
But he didn't have to sub that guy out. He didn't have to yell at that dude. You feel me? He was strictly player developing. Like he never sat on a bench. You feel me? Like there's a different relationship between having a trainer and being somebody's coach.
We got to wrap it up. One more. All
right, bet.
We got to wrap it up.
Quick point.
All I'm saying is to that point, if a guy like KD, he wants somebody to keep it real with him. If he out there fucking up, if he out there not doing what he needs to do, he wants that advice. Just for being on basketball teams and things like that, like I've given, personally, I've given straight up, like no cut clause, not just sugarcoated because you're the best player. Advice. That's what the best players want. The best players need. So just because he didn't that head coach title in Golden State doesn't mean he wasn't doing those things. It doesn't mean when he came out the game, KD didn't holler at Steve Nash for a minute. Steve Nash wasn't in his ear. Steve Nash didn't. He's drilling into him like player development. They watch the film and then they look on what you need to work on. So if anything, a player development coach is the most, you know what I'm saying, not going to sugarcoat it, giving you the real deal. If he's good, if he wants to do his job effectively. I mean, KD is he don't want to hear
bro.
Shit. I know where he's from.
He player developed a man who was already averaging 27 for a career. You feel me? Like how much credit can we give Steve Nash for KD's success in Golden State? You feel me?
I said he built that relationship. That's my big
which is why. But all right.
That's a good one.
We gotta check out. No, this is good convo, and I feel like we definitely gonna come back to this. But this one of them unique situations to what time will only tell. Whether or not it'll work or not. But I'm definitely interested on seeing this like whole storyline play out next year because it's a lot of ins and outs and intricate pieces to the situation. just the puzzle to success. So it'll definitely be interesting to watch. But man, just for the people at home, man, I'm happy you all checked in with us, man. Please come back next week. We'll be right back talking the same talk, man. Make sure you go over and follow us on everything at National Sports Chat on YouTube, everything, man. So make sure you go over there, follow us on that. Make sure you follow us on the IG page for the podcast, Micah and Friends. Make sure you go over there. We dropping clips. We doing all that. So make sure you go over there, follow us. This will be up soon. So as you hearing this and watching this going to be right up. So you could consume that first over there. Make sure you go over there to TOV Sports. Shout them out at the bubble post game recap. Make sure you check that out. We going live recapping the games, and man, we gonna have a good one today. But, man, I don't have anything else except for follow Nate, follow Cott, man. And we're going to be back here next week checking in, talking the same type of talk. If y'all don't got anything, we up out of here, man. Mike and Friends podcast, we up out of here. Yes, sir.
It's something you can't understand. How I just keep killing, man. I'm from the South Rim, spinning like ceiling fans. Gambling with life, no complaining about the dealer hand. Back when niggas used to ride around the Dipset. Now these cops will shoot you on your live, that's a killer cam.